Kia ora team, it's Marcus Shaw here with Business Mastery, and it's less than 2 months until Christmas. So I want to pose a question to you. Are you swimming toward the finish line, or are you slipping? Because at this time of the year when the tide is going out, it's really easy to slip. It's really easy to lose all that momentum that we started the year off with, that purpose and intention, and throw it all out the window and just surrender to the currents of this time of year. On the other hand, if we do utilize that time that we have available to us to work on ourselves and our business, then we can finish the year still feeling like we've given our all, but with a whole lot more momentum, a whole lot more intention, and a whole lot more deliberate intention for the following year. And so what I'm going to share with you is a process that I've worked through with many of my clients over the last 2 weeks. And it's a process for planning out in a 6-week sprint. Now, if you start this next week, you will have 6 weeks. You'll finish mid-December, and then you can go and deliver your Christmas hampers and whatever else it is you do in those last couple of weeks. But you can do that feeling great because you know that you've finished the year well. Finish the year off by focusing on yourself and your business and making it better, not just getting the work and doing the work. So, the first thing that we start off with is the driver. So, when you finish the year and you're sitting there in the sun with your drink of choice, what does success mean? Reflecting on this previous 6 weeks here, what is it that would make you really feel stoked about the efforts that you've put in? And then, as a little guiding frame of reference here, I would suggest not focusing on anything new. Don't introduce anything new into this final 6 weeks, because your energy's it's tapering off toward the end of the year typically, and we don't really have the gusto to introduce, or nor should we introduce anything new. It should be a continuation of something you're already working on, the finishing off of something perhaps that you've started but haven't quite got to the level you would like it to be at. And so once we're clear on that and we have those rules in place, then we can set a really clear theme. So that's just a single word or a sentence that summarizes what it is that we're working on. Then we move to an objective. So what is it that we're actually trying to achieve here? Because usually a project is the outcome of the project that we're looking for is not the project itself. It's something that the project will create for us. And then finally, what's the measure of success? How do we know that we've been successful in achieving this project or not? So use the SMART principle there, but the key thing is really the measure. So then we break down each of our weeks into 6 weekly chunks, and then there's this really key part of the process, which is recognizing that is an iceberg. If we know the result that we want, then the bit that's typically easy for us to work out is, what do I need to do? So there's this layer in here, which I'll note there, is there's a layer of things that we need to do. So each week we're going to do all of these things. Now, that sounds really simple, but we recognize inherently that it's not quite that simple, because we actually have to become somebody that we haven't yet been in order to do these things. And so that will mean that we need to work on some skills and acquiring some skills that we don't yet have. That will mean that some beliefs need to shift. That will mean that some values or some priorities might need to be reorganized. And lastly, that our identity might need to be upgraded to ensure that we can actually do these things that will ensure our project's completed. So those are the key elements to planning out a 6-week sprint and finishing the year with a bang and not a flop. If you want help planning out a 6-week sprint, or this is something that you want for your business next year, reach out. I'm happy to do a session with you and show you some of the tools that we have. And I hope you have a great weekend and enjoy this beautiful Christchurch weather. See you soon.